properties. Okay, there we go. So I had to update Crisp on my computer, and I think I did it sometime yesterday, and that resets, I forgot, but it resets OBS's sound source. So anyway, hello, and welcome to another daily, whatever, Code Fun. Whenever Code Fun. I am One Lion. Oh my gosh, I am... What's Crisp? KRISP. It's similar to the NVIDIA sound optimizer thing, but I think it's better. I think it works really nicely. Display settings. But hello, Captain Commerce. Hello, Dukasoft. Hello to Juan Van. PlayStation has some good games, says Juan Van. I need to have chat going on my welcome screen. Aha. I need chat in a couple places. We're gonna add those real quick. But today is, excuse me, Community Day. And we're gonna have a community day as much as we can have one for anyone that feels like it. Once the stream gets fully started, we can open up the Discord voice channel room, and if you feel like it, hop into it, and we'll have some discussions. Hopefully some cool discussions about technology, about projects you're working on, about things that you've learned lately, or topics that you just want to go through more in depth. That would definitely be an available thing to do. I need to get all of my sound stuff set up because, like you maybe read in chat earlier, I was on a call. It was our normal daily scrum, but we've also been adding, after the stand-up, the review of all of our items left over for our release on Monday, which it's probably not going to be Monday, but we're still pushing really hard as if we are going to release on Monday. So yeah, and Kilobit has been tested. You are tested. Daily room would be nice. Would be nice, wouldn't it? Isn't it? I'm trying to open Visual Studio. What else was I saying? So we have that release coming up, and that's where my brain is. Right now, I've addressed the majority of the bugs, if not all of the bugs. Well, I've addressed all of the bugs that were assigned to me up until yesterday. And then this morning, they did some testing over the past couple of days, found some more issues that were going on, and a lot of them are usability issues, but they're calling them bugs, and it's like, I know about all of the styling things. That's the UI polish that I haven't been able to get to because I'm working on all of the bugs. So, yeah. My goal for today is to clean up all of the UI quirks and weirdnesses in the application, especially the ones that they just brought up a few minutes ago. Excuse me, give me my this. Okay, so before we before we properly get started with Community Day, I wanted to go to the issue that we had leaving off on. Yes, good idea. Go to the issue we had leaving off on Wednesday, which was this method signature. And what I didn't realize that I did was when I was up here and I did the control dot and I said, just give me the implement the new methods that I added to the interface. It generated this method stub for me, and it generated it as I lookup list item dot get lookup list blah 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 of this. And the reason why is because I had another one that had exactly the same signature, And yeah, it explicitly implemented it. So I didn't know why this was happening and it was all weird. And the answer is because I just need to make it a public method. Durr. And hello, good VJ. So yes, thank you, Dukasoft, as always. The project that we're actually working on is a financial management tracker app, and it's intended to be used as an example for showing a full stack project, beginning to end, from conception to design to implementation, maybe through deployment. Who knows what we're going to do after this? I kind of want to move on to something else, but it is a lot of fun doing Blazor. I love Blazor. We're not implemented. Your mama's not implemented. It's because I didn't save. All right, there's another error. I'm not sure what. Okay, we'll get to that in a second though. So, hello everybody. Let's get officially started. I need to hop into the remote stream voice channel. Make sure that voices are going to be coming through on this stream. I have forgotten to do that. Too much. Hello, Crackneck. Welcome into the Code Fun stream. It used to be called Daily Code Fun because I used to stream daily, but now it's just called Code Fun. Output number 2. All right. So that is there. And Discord settings, voice. Output to Realtek. That is correct. And now I just need to hop into here. Okay, so the phone lines are officially open. Call now. If there is anyone that feels like discussing anything using your voice, you definitely don't have to. There is no pressure. If you just feel like chatting, I will pay more attention than usual to chat and make sure that we have good discussions. And yeah, I need another scene for having Discord. So I'm going to move chat down to here and maybe create a box up there that shows that this is who is currently in Discord chat. Or that's what I could put down. I don't know how to make it go horizontal though. Whatever. We'll figure something out. It'll be cool. But anyway, if you do have anything that you want to use your voice to talk about, hop into the stream waiting room in Discord and I'll pull you into the stream room. The other thing that I'm going to do differently after I pause my playback video down here so it's not eating up bandwidth is I will also stream my OBS OBS virtual camera. Yeah, I need to turn on the virtual camera. Okay, so that started. In Discord, I will also stream my OBS virtual camera, which is currently flipped. Oh, how do we flip it in Discord? Settings. Is there a camera settings? Voice and video. OBS virtual camera. How do I flip? Oh my goodness, is there no way to flip the camera? What about in OBS settings? Output type, internal scene source, program output. What is preview output? I meant in Discord, good VJ. Nice. Dukusoft was about to post our Discord link, and then Stream Elements beat him to it. Ops. Oh man. Wait, maybe you guys don't see it inverted? I mean, flipped horizontally. Clicko. Doobie. Oh yeah. On stream it's gonna look fine. So you don't have to talk, but can somebody that has the bandwidth availability and it won't bother you to do so, hop into the stream waiting room? Yeah, like good VJ, for example. So does the camera in Discord show up in flipped horizontally for you? Because right now this is what I see.
Hello.
Wow. That was loud.
Yes, my apologies. You are looking exactly the same on Discord to that on Twitch. We are not
Awesome.
inverted.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Cool. Well, like I said, I don't want to make you feel like you have to hang out and start talking unless you feel like it. In which case, hi.
Okay.
Awesome. Cool. So the reason that I'm doing this is because um, whenever we do have anyone that hops into Discord, there's a delay between what they see on stream and what they see in Discord. And so we use the voice in Discord, and then we use the video from the stream, and that's out of sync. And like sometimes we'll be talking about code, and I'll be like, so here on line 36, and then like 12 minutes later they'll see me switch to, I don't know, some other class that has 36 lines, and they'll be like, I don't see a 36. It's like, give it 20 seconds and you'll see it show up. Anyway, so that should be fixed with this. That's going to be awesome. It's going to be good. All right. So I have that there. Yeah, so I'll keep my eye on Discord. Again, just hop into the stream waiting room if there are any topics that you want to discuss verbally. Otherwise, feel free to post in chat and we will continue discussions. While I'm waiting for discussions, I'll just continue on with the project. And so we are currently somewhere in lookup list state. This thing here. And we're getting an error on build that says when we're trying to use this method, it requires one argument, one type argument that must match this here. And so what's happening is in these forms, in these, components, what are they called? Awesome. Yeah, so definitely feel free. Feel free to do so, Progtesting. I know it's been a while since you and I have actually talked to each other because I've just been keeping my head in this project. But yeah, I plan on going for the whole 2 hours today. And I know that like if my team lead knew that that's what I was leaving for, he'd be like, that's not important enough. And I'm like, you know what? I give on average, I'd say 10 hours a day per week to my client, to the client project. And I'm only able to bill for 8 of those hours. So this time that I'm taking here for these 2 hours, yeah, that's non-work time, so they're mine. You can't have it. I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth. I mean, my foot down. I'm trying to go here. Good VJ says, I was just looking at TypeScript language as I'm working on React.js. I realized TypeScript is like JavaScript and Java had a son. Similar, yeah. There are some syntax things that I'm not familiar with because I haven't dove into it yet. Yeah, TypeScript is JavaScript for C# developers. But funny enough, earlier today, one of the, was it today? Yes, it was earlier today. One of the bugs that I fixed was TypeScript related. Oh my gosh. I had to go into TypeScript and modify code in there, rebuild, and it worked. It worked fantastically. The, the correct pronunciation is Divin. Thank you, Captain Commerce. Speaking of Captain Commerce, if you have not seen Captain Commerce's stream, you guys should check it out. He streams usually on Mondays and Fridays. Today happens to be a Friday. Might also be a stream day. It's kind of late in the day for me, but I try to at least log in and show up as a viewer so I can support him that way. Yeah, very cool guy. Working with Blazor as well, and just all around good guy. Having a lot of fun. Good VJ said, TypeScript has interface, and I only learned Java in college as CPP, C++, supports multiple class inheritance, and Java does not. That's why we use interface, right? And same thing in C#. So, yeah, you'll find a lot of overlap with C# and Java, like Java. Okay, so we need to track down these errors for the generic class. And to do that, I am going to build. That should give us the errors that I'm looking for. I was trying to get to the output box, or to the build box in my output window. That's what I meant to say. May as well pin you. Pin you. Okay, so here we are. This needs to be account via model. This needs to be account via model. This needs to be, yeah. Just get rid of the key designators. Don't I? Oh, right. And you, oh my gosh, you. Okay, so that one should be fine, and these two just need lookup item view model of. That's not right though. Yeah, so here's the problem with this one. I said I would keep my eye on this room. And Progtesting did join us. Yes. The problem with this one is that the method is expecting a class that has a constructor, a default constructor. which means that I can't use iLookup item view model. Well, floppy pants. Anyway, hi Progtesting. You are talking. We can't hear you. And it's going to be the same issue here. You and you make 2. And he left. Oh my gosh. That makes me sad. He's back. Welcome back.
Boo. Boo. Oh.
Yes. How's it going, Progtesting? I know it's been a while since we talked.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, you can. Oh, good. I've been having trouble with
Whoa.
Discord lately.
I even heard when you scraped your mic.
Okay, so it's a bit strange watching your stream in Discord and not on Twitch.
Yeah. I was trying to make it easier so that, you know, if we are talking about anything that has to do with live coding, as in live coding in chat, like if we're talking about him, we want to do it in real time. Anyway, hi live coding.
Yes,
You almost
I
got
agree.
banned from C# Fritz's chat because you made a boomer joke.
Me or live coding?
You.
I think live coding is exaggerating a little bit.
I don't think so. I think he's being genuine. He never exaggerates.
I was in his Fritz's stream today talking to him. I'm not banned.
He said almost got banned because you
Oh,
made a boomer joke.
yes. I'm not gonna deny I did. It was good fun.
So you say.
You were
Only
probably
hear what I
watching
want
as
to.
well when I was making something around.
Maybe. So I'm like I'm in people's streams, but I don't even have the sound on anymore. I have the tab muted because I'm so, oh my gosh, swamped.
We're turning
Crackneck wants to
into
know what was the joke.
yeah. So basically, I called C# Fritz a boomer, which was not. Yeah, that was not the way it was supposed to be.
It wasn't taken the way that you intended it. Is that what you mean?
I didn't really think about it, but live coding, the real boomer, really noticed.
Oh.
So, but anyhow, I decided that this December I am going to get deep into the murky waters of .NET. So today I've been adding a web API to a Blazor WebAssembly project from scratch just to learn.
Yeah, to add it yourself instead of building a WASM with hosted server.
Yes.
That sounds cool.
And then I
Sounds like
finished
something
that,
I
and
would do
then I
if I had
did,
time.
added a minimal API.
Ooh. So your actual API project then is minimal API?
No, I have both now.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Just to
And what did you think of using minimal API? And can you describe it for the viewers at home?
that is what it sounds like. Very minimal. And it doesn't have so much built-in functionality for filtering. I guess that is the biggest difference. It's very small and very lightweight, but it doesn't have filters in the API. So if you don't
But
need
you still
filters,
can
then
add them, right?
yeah, since you say that, you probably can, but you don't have to have them.
Well, okay, can you describe what filters are? So for example, when would be a case that you use a filter in an API? Let's say my API.
I would use them to filter out IDs, for instance. But let me
So I
see.
have this get transaction by ID, for example, right here.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad that I can watch your stream and I can actually follow along what you say with what goes on in the
Yes, success.
yeah. Yeah. Okay, so there we have a yeah. No, it's good you ask me these questions because I'm really bad at explaining things. So, okay, a filter.
I don't mean to
What
put
is
you
a
on the
filter?
spot, though.
Yes, you should. I need to be put on the spot a lot more. No, so you have this get transactions async, and you're asking what is the filter you're using, or how could you use it?
Yeah, if I wanted to use a filter on this.
I'm not really sure how you would do that, and for what really, except filtering out. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Filtering out the ID that you don't want returned, or
That you don't want returned?
yes.
Okay. Like one thing that I was thinking of using filters for is when a request comes in, the filter will intercept that request and it'll do whatever pre magic it does on that and then complete the request using whatever is left over from that. So a filter in this case could be I want to get transactions, but I want those transactions to be of a very specific type. Let's say that I wanted to filter off of some enum that says when you query this endpoint, you can only get back these transaction types. But when you query it at this other endpoint, then you can get back this other set of filters, of types based on that filter.
But
So that's a good thing to look up. What exactly is an API filter?
yes.
Extra logic that gets executed before each action executes. Yep. Such as logging, exception handling, performance measurement, authentication, and authorization. Oh, so this would be a good example of a filter. If I didn't have built-in authorize attributes, then what I could do is have a custom filter on here that will intercept it, check for certain things that will tell my application using special logic that you can only access this if your request is authenticated, if it has a bearer token in the header, an authorized header, whatever it's called. And that authorize is validated. But we kind of get that for free if we use built-in authorize. I'm assuming authorize attribute is considered a filter. Oops.
It doesn't really specifically say that it is.
Yeah, I've made a custom filter for something before, but I can't like think of what it was. I just remember it having to do with an enum.
Okay, so you're
It
filtering
does
on
sound
the.
handy, Dukasoft.
I've never touched minimal APIs before, like 2 hours ago. So
I haven't yet.
the
I've only seen them.
work in progress.
Yeah, I guess the point that we were trying to get to was you said that it doesn't come out of the box that you can use filters with minimal APIs. You don't get them for free.
Yep, correct. I guess that it could be, what do you say, more complex to use in a way, because you have to, or it's more, yeah, it is more up to you what you want to do with it. So.
Right. So according to this, there should be an extension method on it called add endpoint filter. If you wanted a filter on your minimal API. That's cool. That's easy. Yeah, this is easier to wrap my head around than adding a filter attribute to a controller method. Do you get some kind of model binding with minimal API? I think you always have. Or wait, model binding. That would have to be in a post, and I would assume the answer is yes. Let's see a post. Do you know about that, Progtesting?
No, not yet. I'm learning as I'm watching.
Cool. So for anyone that didn't understand what Crackneck is asking, when you're doing something like a post, you can ask for a complex type, a user-defined type, and that'll be sent to this method from the method request body and automatically bound to this object type. And I would assume that because post and put are all about sending a model, sending a view model or data transfer object of some sort, that you would get model binding for free. Oops. Don't need two of them. Maybe not for free. Need more resources. I didn't like that one. I can't just skim it and see what I'm looking for. Yeah, this is kind of what I was looking for. So you specify your endpoint, and then you specify the object type, and then the object itself. Or object name, sorry. And you can do it with files. According to this article, I'm going to go with yes now. This is from queries specifically. I don't care about that. Value providers. Yeah, map post. So it really does look like the syntax is endpoint and then function with whatever parameter types you want. So I think it would work. But I really don't know what all of this stuff is. Oh, form binding for doing like from form. Got it. Ugh. Good question, Bracknick. So what else is going on then, Progtesting? With a K.
Yeah. I'm doing like a boot camp for myself this December. .NET every day. And
Every
plus
day.
advent of code, which of course I
Oh
have to
yeah.
do. I'm doing that in
And
F
I would
sharp.
do that too, but in F sharp. Nice. I would do it too, but like right now, like I'm already behind, and it just feels like if I start now, I'm just gonna feel like, oh. We just
Yeah,
have
but
so much going on during these meetings where, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Moving on.
so you're
Go
turning
ahead.
into developer/HR department.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely still keep getting requests. Like, I told my career counselor, who is the one that recommends me as a technical interviewer for peers, because that's the kind of interview process that we have. Um, and I told her, I'm like, for the next few weeks until maybe a week after December 5th, I am going to be extremely busy working on our release. So I will not be able to help. And then I've gotten 4 interview requests. Like, can you interview these people? It's like, no, actually, I can't. I already said
I
no, and
just
I still
told
feel
you.
bad about saying no, but I can't. Nope.
No, you can't. But it's as simple as that. And yeah, you don't have
It's
time in
just
the
hard for me to
future.
say no, though. It's like I probably could and still get my work done, but it's extremely stressful.
Yes. And
I'm
also,
moving my
your
mouse
job is
around.
to develop, not be HR.
Yeah, but I work for Sagetti, which means extra duties as assigned.
Oh, they have that in their description.
Yeah.
Subteam. Ah, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
The good thing though is that client comes first is high up on the list. So that's helpful. That's how I'm actually able to say no.
Yeah. No,
Do,
so
do.
I'm doing today. I made a CRUD app from scratch to practice my fundamentals. And
Yeah,
then
I
when
saw
I
your
finish
question
that,
about SQL until
yeah.
oops.
So the thing was that it had been updating for 45 minutes, and then I thought, no. So I canceled it and did it again, and it was like 10 seconds, and I was done. It was just I had waited for so long that I didn't want to just cancel it in case something I had to
Yeah.
start over again.
I was wondering if you were using Entity Framework or something, and like on the very first run, it would build the database if it didn't exist.
Yes, this was a migration. No, yes, that's true. The first update you do in the SQL server in the Visual Studio. But I thought
Google this game just
45
killed.
minutes for 5 fields, that's too long.
That is.
Hello, live
Hello,
coding.
live coding.
Yeah, you got to watch those boomer jokes. You call people boomers in their chat, and they kind of give it like you had to watch his face. He had this weird look, like, "What is this guy saying?" And then I saved you. I saved and now all is well. All is well.
Oh,
It's
so
just
you
when you
were
just
responding to it as if he was talking to you.
yeah, if you walk into someone's Twitch chat and make boomer jokes, what are they
Right.
gonna assume? They don't know. They don't know there's a shared history of
Right.
dozens of boomer jokes with other people. Anyway, it was fun. That was
I
a fun
gotcha.
time.
I'm glad you saved me
I saved
from the
you.
But you
You were
wrath.
wanted
going
to
to be
talk
banned
about
from the
Advent.
internet. No, Advent of Code, whatever. So I'm doing it too. I'm
It's
always
fun.
angry with Advent of Code because of the puzzle problems. I'm looking at other people's solutions. It's day 2, and there's already a creative solution that I did not occur to me at all. Are you ready for it? Progtesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I am. Why can't I
So,
be?
all right.
Why can't you ask
This,
me?
no, because you don't know the problem. But I will say
Oh,
this, like there
okay.
is some, in theory, spoilers in the sense that
Spoiler alert.
I am spoiling the potential solution for day 2, which will rob you of the joy of solving it yourself. But with that in mind, day 2 can be solved with a hash table or a dictionary or whatever you want to call it. Like you just say, here's the input text and here's the score for that input text. And you can do that 9 times and you'll have solved the problem. And it's day 2 and they already have these kind of solutions. And it makes me sad and angry, mostly angry. But anyway, I'm doing Advent of Code 2 days so far. And I don't know what I'm getting at. What am I getting at? Yeah, 2
okay.
days so far, and it's been good. But like, I will definitely bail around day 10 when they start getting too clever.
Yeah.
Too much cleverness.
I think the furthest I've made it in one series was day 14 or something. And I was like getting behind, and then I got that sloggy feeling. And I already feel like that right now.
Yeah, you're good. I think the rest of us are thankful you run the stream and you prioritize it over Advent of Code, because that's basically your decision, right? Like, I could choose to not stream and work on these problems. I could do
Actually,
interviews.
I could choose to not stream and keep working on the release for Monday.
Oh yeah.
I still wouldn't be doing Advent this season.
Do they give you flexibility? Like, are they like, just get all your like? Here was a secret I found out like after I quit a contracting job, and it was that like the client manager is like, look, I want you to work this week. Just put all your hours on next week. We know it's not technically right, but it is, like, as long as your client manager is okay with it, I feel like it's fine. Like, because
But
some people even work,
the problem is that I am working the extra hours and only billing for 8, but I'm never taking those extra hours that I work on a day where I don't do anything.
Yeah. Well,
because the entire project is like, well, we have 4 developers. Yeah, 4 developers on the team. And because I was doing the UI integration part of it for the existing app, it's like, well, this thing shows up in the UI, so we should assign the issue to Umberto.
well,
and that's pretty
I
much
don't know.
every issue except for startup time speed and I don't know, there were a couple bugs that happened when you run the application from command line.
Yeah, I will say one of yeah, that seems like a personality thing. That's on you. And
It is.
like, I will say, like, I met one guy and he was like, man, I've been working 80 hours every week. And I was like, are you billing? He goes, no. And I'm like, does anyone at the company know? And he goes, no,
Yeah,
just my client
that's the
manager.
thing though.
I'm
I
like,
tell
well,
my team lead.
yeah, sure. Sure. They won't help you. But anyway, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. I tend to let things fall, which means I'm not a very valuable employee, but in the sense that, projects fail. I don't know.
Yeah, like you said, it's a personality thing. I can't let things fall. It hurts
I
me
have
physically.
one of my friends. He is very similar. Anyway, so be it. Let's move on. Happy things. Yeah.
Things is I did what 8 PRs last night throughout the course of yesterday and cleaned up every item that was assigned to me.
Y'all, when y'all do pull requests, does anyone actually care about your code? This is like a pure team culture question. You are free to not answer it because it is kind of
well,
personal.
to me, it's a terrible process that we are using. Not the PR. So whenever we're trying to merge into master, need a PR, and that PR needs to be reviewed by at least one person. Super cool. However, the automated check that gets run on it is the same check that happens, or the same CI pipeline that happens on merge into master. So it does the entire build, testing.
It builds your branch, right? Yeah, it builds your branch.
It builds the entire branch, but it also does the create the setup files, sign the setup files, sign the executables, sign all the DLLs. And so it takes an hour for every pre-check, for every gated CI pre-check before you can merge your PR.
Yeah, I'm in favor of that. That I don't know. I guess
Like
the
to me,
signing. I
it
don't
should
know
stop
how long
after
is
the
build.
build. The build, it's 30 minutes, I think, build and test.
Ooh.
And then the rest of it is signing. Maybe 20 minutes and then 40 minutes for signing.
Yeah. There are like, I forget. What are y'all using? Is it
So we're
Azure
using
DevOps or
GitHub Enterprise for
Actions
the source control and Azure
DevOps?
DevOps for pipelines.
I'm pretty sure they're both similar and they have the like branch filter options, but like whatever. Like,
That would be
or you have
nice.
separate builds for feature branches, and then like you
And
basically
that's
have
what
to
I told
copy
them.
paste. Yeah.
What I was saying is we should have the CI pre-check build or the pipeline for when you commit to master on a PR. And that stops before the signing. And then when you do the merge, then yeah, go ahead and do the whole process because I don't care. After it's merged, it's just going to run until it's done.
So when you said you had 8 pull requests, that means they finished this morning. The builds
That
were
means it
finished
took
this morning.
8 hours. Well, the thing is I start at 4:30 in the morning. And then my first PR was at 6. And they were all getting approved right away. That's the cool thing. One of the developers is on top of reviewing. He does it right away, and it's so cool. It's so nice.
Has anyone actually? All right, so this is like personal. So don't.
Okay.
How do I say this? This is like
I will not get
snitching on your
offended in
team.
any way.
One of my old teams, my contracting company, our motto was no snitching. So this is snitching on your teammates, but is the pull request thing working for you? Like, is there like nitpicking where you're like, man, that isn't real, but then you do it anyway just to move on?
There are
Or
times that I have done that. Like there was a common pattern that I use, which is with my state classes. If they like this lookup list state, if it initializes, I have this thing where I'm like, if it's already initializing or it has already been initialized, don't do anything, which means that I could call initialize from multiple components. Like one of the first things that happens is application starts, lookup list initializes, and then maybe I try to do .initialize in another component before I try to use lookup list state. This blocks against that. However, the argument was because there are multiple threads on this desktop application, the initialized Boolean value could be hit by multiple things at the same time. And so it is now volatile. So whenever I do this kind of thing, I should have the volatile keyword. And I'm like, if that's the only
I
thing
don't.
preventing me from being able to push this, and I need to, if I make this change, then I need to update my or commit, rerun the checks, which are the hour-long checks.
Oh. Hey, is there a autocomplete? Like I do the fire and forget where I have a GitHub PR. You said GitHub Enterprise, but GitHub
Yeah.
Enterprise should have most of the features. The
Yeah, yeah.
autocomplete, where you just say, well, whenever the build succeeds, you know, merge this whenever it succeeds.
This is something that Juan Van put for signing. Ducasoft was asking, how does our signing work? So for the client that we work with, they have a server that, first of all, provides the YAML for our build, for our pipeline. And I think that's why they haven't updated it. But part of that is to create the setup in our CI and then send the setup file itself to that server. And my guess is that server creates the hashing MD5 checks and assigns it and then gives it back to us. And that's what takes so long. And it's like we have every DLL gets signed before packaging, and then we create the executable, standalone executable, the MSI, the setup.exe, and APPX. And all of those need to get signed. Crazy.
All right. So this was a short chat for me. I have to go because I have some social obligations. But I'm wondering, is it any use for me to hang out in the community later today?
I won't be there if that's what you're asking.
I won't be there. You're all alone.
I'll be working.
All alone, except for your other social commitments. But
Yeah, but
otherwise,
that's
you're
okay.
totally alone.
Yeah, that is a story of my life. Hanging out alone.
Except for your
Okay.
social commitments.
You're
which
saying
gonna
it like
do
it's such
right
a
now.
bad thing.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with it. All right, but thanks for the chat. It was
Yeah.
I am going to continue working on the API stuff, so I get to become a master of it eventually.
All right,
All right.
then.
Have a
Thank you
good
so much
one.
for hanging out with us, though.
Yes. Goodbye.
Ciao.
Better. I will say, I did not know there was a volatile keyword. I will literally have to look that up. Don't explain it. I will read an
No.
article. It's just
Yeah.
it
Like,
reminds me that it's been a while for me.
There's the two things that he was wanting me to use. The semaphore type system. I can't even think of what it's called. Thread lock? Is it just
Semaphore
lock?
Slim.
So you do.
Oh, you have to
you
make an
create-
object. You have to
Yeah,
initialize it
that.
to an object and then use the lock
Mhm.
keyword.
That
Which is
exactly.
the oldest style of concurrency, but it is also
And
the
I'm
only
like,
one that.
do we really still need to do that if we are using good practices with our async awaits?
It's. I'm trying to think. What would be the thing? You click two buttons on the same screen. If they, it doesn't. It the only
Think
time
of it
I've
this
ever
way.
used lock is on the back end.
Dependency
I've never used it
injection
on the
needs to
UI.
initialize many things.
Yeah.
So in our dependency injection, we have all of these things that have async initializers that allow the application to start before all of the dependencies are ready. The application main page loads a whole bunch of components that use some of those services, and it waits for them to be initialized. And so we were getting into situations where deadlocks were happening, where this service depended on this other dependency, and this service is also a dependency, and then so is this one, which depends on this one, and one would run, the other would be locked, and it would never finish.
And this is when you say deadlock, you mean like because the lock keyword is the thing that causes deadlocks. If you have whatever if you have two of those and there's a lock and anyway, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Good times, good luck, and yeah.
That's my favorite phrase lately. Good times.
Good
The other thing that I found out about lock, though, like let's just say that I had some object lock holder. I don't care. Equals what
Yeah,
default?
I never know what to call
what.
those. You say object, new object. You do have to say
Oh,
new
new
object.
That's right.
You don't have to. It has to be a. I don't. You know what? I've never read a book on this. I just know you say new object.
This is what I had to do. Yes.
Yeah.
Or I guess now with C#7 or C#9 and above, C#10 and above. I can't remember. Anyway, you can't use a lock around async stuff.
Oh, that is the truth. That makes me extremely sad. And it makes sense, but it also makes me extremely sad. So it's a lot of get awaiter dot get result or whatever that's called. So yeah.
Speaking of get awaiter dot get result, I'm glad you said it that way. Because what's the alternative to get awaiter get result?
Wait. And I can't remember why, but dot wait has. No, it's dot result. Wait is the one with no. There's so much async.
This is if it's a void method.
And dot result does
you're not trying to get
slightly
anything
different.
back. Right. Yeah. So I loved the video from Brandon Minnick that explained all
watch
this.
That too.
Do I get
After I
waiter?
read up on volatile.
Get result is better. And I mean, it's still crap. This is still not recommended.
there's like that configure await false or whatever, and
Yeah, he
I
explains that too, what it
great,
does.
because I need to read up on that because that has never made sense to me. I mean, I do it sometimes about in our app, our big one,
Or not get a waiter.
it's about 5% compliance on that.
Yeah,
On
it's
the
essentially
getaway.
anything that doesn't run on the UI thread or doesn't care about the UI thread at all. Configure await false just says use whatever thread is available. Configure await true, which is the default, says return back to the thread that called you. But if you don't
Okay.
care about what thread called it, and it's just something that needs to run on any
Which
other
one's
thread,
default? Which one's by
true.
default? It's true. Yeah. So So do you even need to set configure await false, or is it just a thing that's like nice to have? There's
Wait, am I
whatever.
backwards? I think I might have just lied.
We explicitly set configure
Oh
await
yeah,
false. That is what I know. See,
right.
I know a lot
Yeah.
of things about 3%, and I know like the lock. Like, well, this is what you do. You're like, well, why? Like,
Yep, and that's the thing that Brandon Minnick said is, and this is why I really liked his video, is like people will tell you it's bad to use .wait, or it's bad to use .result, or task.run, or all of these things, but they never tell you why. So he's going to explain
because
why.
we don't know why. We're just cargo culting the instructions we got
Exactly.
from the last person who actually watched his video. And yeah, anyway. Woo!
2 N's in his name? 16 N's? Correcting common mistakes. I'm going to go ahead and drop this into chat. Gabby. I'd have to watch this video like 10 more times before I grasp all of them. Ow. I'm glad you guys
Was it
can hear
loud?
that.
I
That
can't
was
hear
really
that.
loud. Yeah, that's definitely a thing, Kilobit, where people are gonna be like, "This is the one way," and that's why I like it. That's why I like having you here, live coding, because you're like, "This is the way."
Nothing's.
However, do it your way.
Yeah, I realize a lot of my advice is like, well, this is horrible, but it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Think,
And I love it. It's just
yeah.
here's a way to get it done. If you're just trying to get it done, there you go.
By the way, Kilobit, there is actually the correct way to deal with .NET's async await. The key is if you know what you're doing or not, and if you don't, because it's, it's programming, it's threads. We're not talking about architecture. We're talking about like, is my UI gonna hang?
Functionality. Yeah.
Like, yeah, like, and by the way, no, never mind. I was just gonna say an unrelated thought. We had an issue in production where we had someone set our max threads and min threads to some giant number, and basically it destroys whatever computer it's running on. So,
Oh yeah.
just don't tweak those settings unless you know what you're doing, I guess. And
especially if you
again,
don't know what targets you have. Like, where is your app going to run? Is it going to run on phones?
it's going to run on a 16-core Linux box.
Yeah,
and it will be using the CFS. What is that called? CFS? I forgot what that is. It is compute groups in Linux, which gives it 5 milliseconds at a time. So every time you spin up a thread, it will give it 5 milliseconds. And if it uses 0 milliseconds, it will give it 5. And if you have 300 of these and you have permitted your app to run at roughly 100 millis total, it gets all of it up front in the first group, and then it's done for a second, and it's completely hung for a full second. So there you go. There is an explanation.
Oh my gosh.
There is a real explanation. And by the way, that explanation, which I don't expect many people to understand, was roughly an afternoon of reading articles. And I was lucky it was only an afternoon. But thankfully, I'm not the only person. This is why it's good to program in a popular language, because then many other people have spent their 4 afternoons of research. Whereas if you're like, hey, by the way, there's a new OCaml streamer. I've heard it's a great language, whatever. I've heard good things.
I
But,
had such trauma from college. for
Oh, you've done
OCaml.
so? Okay.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Well,
Operating
there is a
systems.
streamer. He seems very sharp, much more than me, and I'm sure he can figure the problems out himself from scratch, from first principles. And I'm just happy I can Google. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I just have so much trauma surrounding that. It was bad.
Good times.
There's
Good
I'm telling you, that's my phrase right now. Like after I finish saying anything to my team lead where I'm feeling like I'm griping about I'm putting in all this work which is on me, so I have no room to complain about it. Putting in all this work and then during our client updates, they're like, "Why isn't this done? Come on, you need to move faster." And it's like I just did like I don't know, 80 hours of work in one day. Move faster than that? What's faster than that? I don't know. So then I just end up saying good times after that.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Yep. What else we got? Yeah, pull request. So I'm always curious to hear about other people's team culture, what I call team culture. It's not, it just is like pull request culture. Because if you read articles on the internet, people say craziest things in the world about like, hey, you got to give a lot of positive comments in your PR. And there's, people are and first of all, they're crazy, they're wrong. But second of all, that is a culture thing. So they're not actually crazy or wrong. It's just this is how they do things in PRs. They try and be very nice. Maybe if it's all remote, if everyone's remote, they have to be a little more careful because no one's ever even seen each other in person. By the way, have you seen your teammates? Is this a remote job? Is this a...
This is 100% remote. I haven't seen any of them.
Hmm,
There was a possibility that I saw the team lead at some point, but I can't remember.
at a company meeting or whatever? Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
But like every morning we have our stand up, our 15 to 20 minute stand up, and nobody has their camera on.
Huh.
We
Yeah.
don't meet in person.
So, yeah. I'm just curious. Yeah, and this is a new era. I mean, you've been kind of working remote, but like, yeah, it is FaceTime's important, or at least time to chat with people, but I don't know. It's hard. Like we have our little like twice a week like kind of office. We call it office hours where we either talk to the boss or talk about Pokemon or whatever we're into. I joke about, hey, we ran out of topics. Let's talk about Pokemon. I say that literally that phrase is a joke, and then they'll talk about Pokemon for like 15
Oh
minutes.
my
It's dumb.
goodness.
Yeah. And they're
Like the
kind of
thing that
joking
happens.
about it. Yeah. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
The thing that happens to me a lot is I'll find a way to interject or to not interject, to just inject some talk about understanding the person that I'm talking to. So finding out what their personality is, and then we get on the topic of personalities. And then we would talk about that. So, like for example, our tester, at least that's what I'm going to call him. He's the person that gets all of the trouble issues that come in about the app, tries to reproduce it, responds to it, tells us if it needs work, and then he also tests the app after we implement stuff. So anyway, I was just first time ever. I called him because there was this thing that I needed to update him with, and I gave him that information really quick, and then we started talking, and then I was like, okay, I know how this conversation is probably going to go. So we talked a lot about personalities, about socionics, and just really cool topics, things that I was enjoying talking about, but I was still doing work at the same time because I was like, I know that I still have a lot to do. So I need to get this done. And I hope I didn't make him feel like I was ignoring him, you know?
Nice. Nice. Like having a phone call while playing video games. Never works out for
Yeah.
me. I just tell people, hey, this is a gaming call. You got my partial attention. Just keep that in mind. They're like, I'm in. Okay. So Yeah.
You have my full attention right now, and so does my code.
Yeah. Both have 100% of my attention. Dukasoff says loves his one-man team. Yep.
Yeah, it's so weird though. This is my first experience working on a more than one person team. I mean, I say that, but like I worked with one other person at the previous job, but I was essentially the team lead. So this is my first time being a team member, I guess. It's been an interesting, you know.
You've been eye-opening. How about that?
Yeah.
And see this, yeah. When I was at a contracting company, I loved talking to coworkers about their projects, and no one ever wanted to talk about it. But anyway, I think because there's a lot you can learn cross-pollinating type stuff. That's a fancy word.
Yeah,
But
I like it.
you learn a lot from other people's experiences when there's no defined best practice, so to speak. Like you were talking about your stand-ups, but like, look, project managers need that status update. I don't know why they do.
Well, I know why my project manager does, and it's because the client product owner and is there a project manager on the client side? Yeah, I think that we also have a project manager on the client side that need the updates, and he's the one that gives it to them. But we also have the client update meeting where all of us are present and giving the same update. So I don't know.
They could, in theory, just look at the ticketing system. Or are y'all doing stories in like Azure DevOps
We
or
are doing
Jira or
stories, but
something?
it's not fully established. We don't have a good flow. Like right now, I have 32 work items assigned to me, and
So you're not actually working on them all 32. But you
it's
could,
like,
yeah.
which ones are active? I don't know. I just get emails that say this has been assigned to you, period. And then I go into them and it's just like pending, 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 pending. So which ones are active? I don't know. But yeah, I think the thing that's getting to me the most is that we do have this. So our project manager started using this, which I love because I want to use some kind of tracking thing that says, all right, I'm going to work on this work item. Here I go, finished PR, update work item. And then move it to whatever it needs to be moved to. But right now we're working off of a Word document as our tracking what's left. And it's like, so I'll need to update that
Word
too.
document.
And it's not even shared over OneDrive or anything. It's a Word document that he updates while we're on a call, emails it out to all of us, and says, put your changes on here, and then we'll sync at the next meeting.
Well, that is.
What year is it?
It's not even a spreadsheet. That is the worst. I'm what's it called? Agnostic in most things, but that is the worst. Use a spreadsheet that is on a shared spreadsheet.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But there were.
We're moving on.
There were situations that were not allowing the project manager to use that type of system. So it's like, why not? Let's just keep using Azure DevOps. Let's use the board.
Yeah, I like the board also because that and there is a stand-up technique
let's create
apparently.
a Kanban board.
Yeah, well, don't even get it. If you
Trello,
mention that,
yeah.
they think you're weird. If you say Kanban, they're like, oh no, we got a weird one. You just have to say a board and never say what type it is. Start talking about limiting work in progress, which is legitimate, by the way.
Yes,
You ever
please.
start talking about
that?
that?
Oh my gosh, yes, please.
Oh no. You're in for lean software development now. You're a adherent. You don't even poppin' dicks. That's who
I was a white belt.
Oh goodness, was that
in actual
Six
lean
Sigma?
Six Sigma.
Oh,
yeah.
in lean.
Six Sigma. Well,
Okay.
lean Six Sigma. It was the combination.
Oh, I don't know. Okay. They did make I don't think They got paid for that. All right. Well, whatever. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Interesting. So
I'm
yeah, so
sorry.
you
I keep
do,
interrupting you.
so you can teach me because I have 0 certifications. I just have
This
read blog
was
posts.
2005. Wait, 2009 actually.
Okay.
So
Well, either
I
way,
haven't touched it
so you're
since.
an experienced instructor. How about that?
I was in lead. I had a lead certification, capital LE80, and then I was a white belt in Six Sigma. And yeah, those are the 2 things that I can use as credentials for that. But they're expired by now, most likely. Unless once you have it, you always have it.
Who knows? I don't want to know. I don't want the answer to that question. What year is it? It is 2022 still?
2010 was it? No, he was saying that for the Word document.
What year? Oh goodness. Yeah. Yep. So,
Which is fine still. I mean, whatever work
see,
process,
fine.
I'll adapt to it. I'll work with it. But one of them only, please, because
Yep.
I don't want to update it in 6 places at the same time.
I will say though, one thing I heard that was an interesting idea was instead of doing stand up in person, everyone's required to put their status updates in like a Slack or whatever. You Slack,
Yeah,
Microsoft Teams,
yeah, we
whatever
don't
the
even
chat
use
room thing.
Slack either. We don't like
They'll have
we
Teams
do
or Slack.
Zoom. We do Zoom. That's how we do our stand-ups and our client updates. But no one ever uses it for chatting, for quick messages, for anything like that. It's like,
Oh.
let's email.
Oh, y'all eat. Ooh. Like even I had Skype before there was Slack and there was, I think they had Hipmunk. Hipmunk might have been it. I can't remember. There was a Campfire. I forget what they were, but like we used Skype chat and we were in the same room. It was ridiculous. Anyway, yeah. I don't know how I would work without work Slack or some equivalent. It's it would be tough. Like email someone, hey, can you get on a video call with me? And
Yeah,
by the way,
like
I also hate chatting. I always
yeah.
escalate to like an audio call if I can, as quick
Oh,
as
I
possible.
don't mind it. That's my preference. Chat, absolutely. I will talk verbally. I'm okay with that, but my preference is the opposite of yours. So, do you know why yours is what it is? By chance?
Oh, what my what is?
Why your preference is verbal?
Uh, I'm okay with
I'm just
chat. I
wondering
just
if you
hate
know.
the
You
back
don't
and
have to
forth.
know.
I
Oh,
know
okay.
why. It's because I hate the back and forth of chatting with someone, and like after about 10 messages, it's like, can we get on a call? And then, because if there's no
My
back and forth, yeah, fire and forget a chat, fire and forget a response, and
exactly.
that's good. That's
Exactly.
the acing. But then if they're like, and then they'll say hello, and that and hit send, and you're like that. I'm waiting for the next message. You're just staring at your
Yeah.
Slack, waiting for the
It's like
actual
you're
message.
saying hello to me, so
Yeah,
continue on,
yeah,
please.
yeah, yeah. But there's like 8 websites now that say just say or just anyway. There's a million of those websites. Life is good. Um, but yeah, I prefer to get lots of back and forth done quickly over voice.
Yeah, and
And
that
it's
makes sense. Like if it's something that is actively being worked on, or we need immediate answers to, yeah, let's talk. Let's have a verbal, real time conversation. But if it's something like, can you get me the status of this thing because I need to update this document for tomorrow's meeting? It's like, sure,
and
send
that's
me
chat,
the email and I will do that as soon as I can.
or I should say
But
that's
if you're gonna,
text.
yeah, that one's an
Oh,
email
that
to me.
reminds me, I was supposed to do something. I do have a job. What was the thing I was gonna look
Why?
at? Oh, never mind.
Why do you have a job? You should
Yeah,
quit
why?
that.
Well, given the news lately, everyone may quit us depending on. Hey, you're
Oh,
safe. I'm just saying. Look, there's not a lot of hiring going on right now
oh
relative
yeah,
to
that is
the
true.
News
That
of
is
firing.
absolutely true.
Actually, there is a lot of hiring going on. I should say the economy seems still, the U.S. job economy seems pretty good or for devs. See how I keep qualifying it. The U.S. dev
More and more.
economy seems to still be okay. Lots of layoffs. So lots of notable layoffs, I should say. Anyway, that's happy news. More happy news.
Yeah, anyway, you haven't been saying anyway much lately.
Yeah.
I think that's your catchphrase.
Hmm.
But it's lately been turning into so that's fun.
What's fun is that I say these things and I don't even know that I say them for the most part.
Yeah, that's what makes it a catchphrase.
Complete involuntary catchphrase.
Yes.
Like
I don't know what I'm
knee,
doing wrong. I'm doing something wrong.
hit my knee with a hammer, and I'll say, anyways. I guess I'm trying to say it's a involuntary reaction, but don't hit it too hard with a hammer. Then I'll just cry. That's a different. It's maybe not a hammer, maybe one of those little dots. Anyway, this is good chat. I'm mumbling. I'm muttering. This is at the muttering section of the stream chat,
Yes.
and we're here. We're muttering. What else were we
I'm
gonna
a fan.
say? Always curious
Toy
about
hammer.
anecdotes for pull requests because I feel like it's such a. Anyway, I'm just
Okay.
fascinated by it. It's just a
Let's
thing that
see.
differs so much between people because, like, and that's the other thing I'll escalate. If there's a pull request where I'm like, hey, I have 2 or 3 comments, I'll say, hey, I have 2 or 3 comments. I'll leave them on the PR and then I'll say, we can talk through it. And especially if it's the first time I'm reviewing someone or they're reviewing me, I'll be like, hey, can we get on a call and talk about it? Because there's a lot of like nuance, or they're like, they'll say, anyway, you see what I'm saying? They'll say like, hey, I think you should change this. But if you've never talked to them before as a human being, then it comes across very different, and you don't really know what
okay.
don't know who's saying this and what
Right.
they really mean. Do they mean you have to do it, or are they just kind of saying, hey, I don't like this, and for next time fix it up, or there's a lot of
And that's what I like about the dude that I was talking about earlier is he will suggest stuff, but if it's not stuff he wants you to make as a change in the PR, then he'll approve the PR with that comment,
he's a
which is
rubber
really
stamper.
cool to me.
He's a rubber stamper. All right, I will have to get back to it. Any last words? I'm looking at chat. Lukasoff says LUL.
Toy
That
hammer.
is the LUA.
Lol.
Anyway, chat. Throw a 1 if you remember when that was a better Twitch emote only, and the rest of us would just see LUL because I refused to install that plugin. I would just see a lot of LULs, capital LUL. That was it. We got a lot of sour
Lol.
PLS as well. That was a popular one way back in the day with better Twitch.
Yeah, you're definitely into, or not into, you've experienced more than I have.
Yeah, Franker Z used to be the common emote.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't even know if that's still there. It was the dog. It doesn't even matter. Anyway, this is important. I need to get on an actual work call. It's been real. Any last words?
Okay. Enjoy. Do your best.
All right.
Get 100 on your test.
Yes. Perfect.
And also,
all right, later.
anyway.
This was fun.
All right. Bye. Live coding, everyone. I think I maybe moved myself over a little too far. Or I moved my camera, right? That's what happened. So if you saw the thing that I was idly doing while talking with him that I wasn't really paying attention to was I was trying to figure out why my account view models weren't populating and why I was getting errors. So I just updated it to be an actual account view model. And so all of my lookup lists should now be in item cache. So if I look in here, we should have lookup items of each type. Except for recurrence types. Why don't I have recurrence? Oh, yeah, I do. Payees, line item types, deposit reasons, categories, account types. I'm sure that there's one in here that I didn't prime the data base. No, they're all there. Okay, so we do have lookup items in our cache, and by cache I mean that I have a state object where I did all of this initialization and I'm storing the list because the list is not going to change very often for lookup items. So I am just caching that in memory in the running app so that whenever I want to get a list of items, such as in the accounts list, that should be down here. I just go to that state, the state, and then I say lookup item cache, and then give me that specific list type back. However, for whatever reason, I am not always getting back the items, and or they are not displaying with their information. So the thing that I just saw, that's what it was. Now I'm back. The thing that I just saw was we do have 2 accounts, but they don't have their display text set. Account view models, I mean. So I would like to get account view models display name set and figure out why they're not getting set. And I think the reason why is because in the server-side service, when doing account name, accounts lookup item, I am not. Aha! We have an extension. Oh, right. I wanted to use the extension method to view model. However, this is still linked to entities. And so because I'm using this external method, this method that is from this app, it's going to tell me that the link expression could not be translated. Because it doesn't know this method. I'm going to double check that. I'm going to see if I'm lying to myself or not. I often lie to myself. Anyway, those were good times. As I was saying before, good times. So if there is anyone else that has any topics that they would like to discuss using voice, such as Thindal, for example, then feel free to hop into any of the chat rooms. Hey, look, it's Thindal.
Hello.
How's it going? I was just inviting more people. I don't know if you're in the stream or not, but I was inviting people.
What's everyone doing today?
Because we have 30 minutes left.
Wait, I don't think I can hear anything. Hold on.
You can't hear me?
Beacon.
Here is audio check. Here is audio check. Keep on checking audio for the Thindal until he gets his headphones working or his speakers or whatever he's using. I guess while we're waiting for Thindal, Progtesting did come back.
I just ate vanilla custard buns.
Vanilla custard buns. That sounds like
Very Norwegian, very Swedish.
what are they called? I can't think what they're called.
There we go. I think I can hear you now.
Yay! Welcome.
Yay! Windows update.
So Progtesting said that he just finished making some vanilla custard buns.
Ooh.
Yes. Oh yes. Oh
Evil
yes.
Prog. Evil. I'm not sure if it'll pick this up, but I'll have to counter with this sound. Could you hear it?
Didn't hear anything. Nope. I mean, it kind of sounded like a space bar.
Nah. It's Discord. I opened a Red Bull.
Oh.
So close enough. Close enough.
Close enough to a cream bun?
No, not close at all.
Honey bun. That's what I was thinking. No, but it's not honey bun because it's cream filled.
No. You need to come over here and try Giffel. I think Prog knows what that is, right?
Ooh, yes.
Yes. It's like
But
a miniature, nice
yes.
cinnamon bun thing.
Yes. They're like half the size of a normal cinnamon bun, so you can eat a lot of them.
Yeah, they're really soft
Ooh.
and not covered in icing like your American ones.
I love some of the icing. I hate like super sugary, gritty icing. I like the creamy
You know, when it's
icing.
basically pure sugar.
Yeah, but I think that the melty ones are too. Like the ones that are usually poured over cinnamon buns.
Yeah.
There's the two types. There's the one that's kind of crusty and gritty and that. But then there's the creamy, liquidy, gel type one. That's the one I love.
Mm.
Dukasoft knows what Gefell is. Is that what you called it?
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, we don't have that on our buns at all. We just have some sprinkled rough sugar, like coarse sugar. That makes sense, like sugar crystals.
It does. It
But
does.
you have like butter, sugar, and cinnamon that's inside of the roll, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's just sweet dough and then covered in butter, cinnamon, sugar. Then you roll it up. Cover it with some eggs, egg wash.
Egg wash.
And,
So egg wash is when you just like paint it on, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Exactly. He says you're punny.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
You're punny without even trying.
Yes, yes. Yeah, and then you just run it through the oven, sprinkle them with sugar first thing as
Run
they
it through
come
the
out, and
oven.
you're done.
Do you have one of those that are like on a conveyor belt and you just
No. Both me
Sorry.
and
I'm just
Microsoft
I'm just
posted
pointing
images
out
of
the
it.
I'm just pointing out the fact that
Yeah.
you're not American English by
Yeah.
default. Oh, there's
Sorry.
pictures. Oh, there's
Yeah,
pictures.
Dukas looks nicer. Mine are those, ready ones from the store.
Goodness.
Oh,
Oh yes, please sign me up.
oh, I mean,
That's just
isn't it
buttery goodness. Buttery goodness.
every time we meet Fridays, we always end up talking about food.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yes.
The
It's not me.
universal language that brings us all together.
Like normally I'd bring up food, but Progtesting started it.
Yeah,
I usually do.
I don't mind. I don't mind at all.
But Thindal,
Yes.
you had an interesting weekend.
Last weekend? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I attempted to stream from DreamHack and it went badly. But it was at DreamHack at least.
I've only heard about DreamHack. What is it?
It is a LAN party.
Like I heard the name of it. A LAN party.
Yeah.
And
You
it's a
remember
convention
those?
type? Yeah, of course I do.
It's
I
about
am a LAN
what was
party
it?
right now.
7,000 computers bring your own.
Huh.
And something like, I think, 14 or 15,000 visitors because there's a big expo and stuff as well.
Oh.
And I think it was 60 gigabit internet connection this year.
Oh, geez.
Because why not go over the top,
Because
That
I
is one
can.
thick cable.
With 2 C's.
See if we can find the website still, if it's still up. Yeah, here we go. Here, official website.
I heard about it, I think, through what his name is Simple Game Dev. Did you
It
happen
used
to
to be a lot more
see?
programming and stuff, but these days it's just gaming.
Yeah, did you happen to see gosh, I keep wanting to call his game Fragment. what his game is called.
No, I didn't see
Come
any
on,
indies
Stream
at all
Elements,
this year,
help me out.
actually. We were
Indies.
all
What
out
is
of
Simple Game Dev's
Indie.
game name? I feel terrible. Artificial. Good grief. Eh. Before that, let's go to Steam. Who's at least one developer at DreamHack named Thindal trying to
Oh,
stream.
yes. Oh, yes.
So I didn't fully pay attention. What was the issue? Steam powered. What was the issue with why you weren't able to stream?
Because, well, first of all, I had my nephew next to me. And I told him that if I have my lights on, because I brought a small light, then don't disturb me because I'm streaming and online. So I was streaming for about 2 hours, and I think he poked me and wanted something like 20 freaking times. It wasn't 20, but it was a lot. Like a lot. And then just people going by, they were handing out crisps. I'm not sure if that's the American word for it.
It's
We call
not,
it
but
chips here.
most of us know what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you call them? Chips?
Chips.
No? Yeah, chips. It's same as here then. And they really like pushed them on you. So I was sitting there streaming, coding, and someone just dumped a bag of them on my keyboard.
Gosh.
Like a closed bag, but still like I'm doing something. Just go away. So it's basically just constant interruptions and couldn't concentrate.
It
Yeah,
is
it's a bad
pretty
idea.
interesting to me. Not interesting. What's the word? Impressive. It's impressive to me the people that can go to those events. They aren't like, some news company that have people cordoning off their area. They're just normal everyday people streaming from live events like that, and they have no problem with people like jumping in their business and being there. They just kind of flow with it. And I'm like, how do you do that?
Really difficult. Really weird.
I would go crazy.
I think it's a bit easier if you're gaming because you don't have to have that kind of train of thought and keep it going the same way as when you're coding. There's also the creator hub at DreamHack. Hold on, I'm gonna see.
Yeah,
if I
so
can
this thing
find
here,
it.
the article that I'm showing is Simple Game Dev's game, and he was talking about being at
DreamHack Beyond.
Beyond.
That's
So that's different?
somewhere else. Yeah.
Okay.
DreamHack Winter and DreamHack Summer is in the original city, which is Jönköping. Actually, it's not the original. It was in one other place in Sweden first, and then they moved here, and now it's all over the world. Yeah, they had
I like the colors in this.
this, for example, which was streamers over and over and over again. It's like a huge area set up just for streamers where they had hours when they were there streaming, so people could visit them and watch them live, like on location, and yeah, it's pretty
fun.
cool.
Even panels. So it's almost like a TwitchCon.
Yeah, kind of. And there was a meet and
Just
greet and stuff like that. Yeah.
It sounds so stressful.
Yeah, I think it is. I
mean, again, I'm impressed by the people that can go to these and just thrive. It's just cool to watch someone that's in their element in these, just kind of float around, move through the crowds, talk to people.
Yeah, not quite my element, to be honest, but I mean, I had a good time. It's fun,
cool.
but it's probably not something I'd do again if I was alone, but my nephew wants me there, so I'll go there with him.
Jönköping.
Jönköping.
Yeah. It sounds like Chinese.
Jönköping.
Or Korean. Jönköping.
Jönköping. Ping pong.
Dukasoff says, my brain needs more coding to even think about events. More programming. More data, please.
You know, some
I
places
keep
are easy.
looking
You
at
have
this.
like Stockholm, which is Stockholm. So basically the same thing. Then you have Oslo, which is Oslo, which is also basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have Malmö, which you say like Baghdad.
I'm sorry, what? Pogdar?
It's no, Baghdad. Baghdad.
Bagdal. Oh, Bagdal.
Yeah. It's a running joke about there being a yeah, it's constantly wars down there, like gang wars. So it's Swedes are calling it Little Baghdad because
Um,
they're
But is it a
throwing
joke?
freaking hand grenades at each other.
yeah, that doesn't sound like a joke.
No.
it doesn't really. But
Well, what we
Thindal.
call it is a joke, but what they're doing is not. Makes
Oh,
sense?
yes. But Thindal, why don't you tell me about Skåne?
Skåne.
Oh,
It's where
you're sorry
Malmö
about
is.
that. I
It's
thought you said
it's
it like
also
they
like
say it.
semi-Denmark.
Skåne.
Skåne. Yeah, there's a tradition when you
Skåne.
go to the southernmost state of Sweden, where you're supposed to stop at the border to it and do the ceremonial ditch digging. So you take like one spade worth of earth and you dig more to the ditch. So the plan is to dig the state off of the main mainland.
Terrible.
It's fun. It's
Do you actually
fun.
do it?
No.
It'd be hilarious if you actually did.
There have probably been people doing it, but no.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. But you know that I might have mentioned it before, but Sweden and Denmark have a bit of a history. We
Oh,
have the
really?
world record in number of wars fought between two countries.
Is
I
that
think we're
still
up to like
valid?
45-ish or something. So
Excuse me.
yeah. But it's still like, you know, sibling hate. It's like we hate them, they hate us, but with a smile. And if anyone messes with the other one, then there will be hell to pay.
You'll stand up for each other.
Yeah, yeah. But it's also fun to poke fun at them because we hate them and we love the Norwegians because they're so stupid.
Yeah, there we go.
And the Finns love vodka and they all have knives.
And we're going to
And
that
saunas.
direction again.
We don't have a Finn here yet. We need to
No, but
recruit a
Sam.
Finn. We have one here right now.
No, I don't think he's here. No.
No. We need to start recruiting. Gutli, he is too busy driving around in his new Polestar. So I cannot get him to get on. He is not attending Community Day because he's driving around Iceland. But we need to build a Nordic front in this community day.
Do we though?
Let's not call it that, please. Let's not call it that. Because in Sweden,
We
there
can
is an
just
actual
keep it as
organization
a.
called Nordic Front.
Oh,
Ah,
jeez.
yes.
And
correct.
I'll let you guess what kind of nice guys those are.
I
Only the
didn't think
best.
about that. It was not in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just keep it an all-inclusive stream. How about that?
Yeah, they are not inclusive. Let's just put it there. We'll say it like that. Yeah.
Yay, I did it, by the way. All of my lookup lists
What
are now
happened?
populated.
Yay!
Yay.
Hey, have you seen the quick table?
Yes, I have. Whoa.
Have you
And
used it?
Dukasoff says, yay. Have I used it? Why would I want to use it? No, I'm kidding. Yes, I have not used it. I do want to for this down here. Quick grid, right? Not quick table.
Yeah, it might have been Quick Grid, actually.
And it's part of the come on browser, come here, see Blazor Fluent UI. This thing,
Isn't it a
part of
part
this
of
library.
Cool. I thought it was like a part of it of
Oh yeah, of
Blazor
Blazor.
itself, but it's somewhat official library.
It's actually, you know what? I don't know anymore. Since .NET 7, since it ships with .NET 7 now, I don't know if it's still considered part of the Fluent UI components or not, but I'm pretty sure that it is still considered part of Fluent UI. Thank you, Dukesoft.
It should be part of something very official. Yeah, I just found that one as well. Since I mean it's on the ASP.NET
But I mean, this
GitHub.
is official. This is absolutely official. Yeah. This is where it started. So this is how it starts.
Yeah, so you need to add the ASP.NET Core components.
Yeah.
To get it. And it's actually its own package. It's ASP.NET Core components quick
when was
grid.
This updated? This was updated in July, and they already have Blazor custom elements. Oh, this is the mapping from Fluent UI to the Blazor component version of it. Got it. Got it.
Ah.
Okay. I see. Yeah, so this is definitely something different than the quick grid that was added with .NET 7. And I think quick grid got added because Steve Sanderson was doing that demo for the car checker. No, for the Blaze Orbital. And he's like, here's just this grid that I threw together. And it works here, and then let's turn it into a custom element and use it in the Angular app. And it looks the same, works the same. And everyone was like stuck on this grid. It's like, oh, can we have that grid as part of Blazor? Can you ship that with Blazor? And so they eventually did.
And I'm here all like, hold on, I'm typing in chat.
Oh, that works too. If you didn't catch that, the thing that just happened is the browser asked me if I wanted to leave the site because I had made changes in the form. And I bet you can't guess what that is. Oh, loading. I made a change. I tried to navigate away. Yep. I tried to navigate away and it doesn't let me. And then I try to close the browser and it says changes have been made.
Oh.
Do you know what that is?
Didn't they add something like that in Net 7 as well?
Yeah. And that's what I'm using.
Nice.
Navigation lock.
Nice.
Oh, it's so nice.
I mean, take a look at the chat message I sent, and like, that's the world I'm coming from.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you already had a data grid from.
And here you're all like
web forms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucked. It sucked and generated HTML. Those basically shoot me now if I need to read this manually. But that's how hard it was to create the grid.
Yeah. It's really nice. Yeah. So are you at the point where you're starting to move all of your pages over to Blazor?
I am just about ready to move the stuff that's still going to be ASP.NET framework over to its own project, which is the administration UI.
Cool.
And then I need to write repositories for all data access, which shouldn't be terrible now. Shouldn't be. And after that, I can switch the main project over to NetCore. And once that is NetCoreified, which also shouldn't be terrible since it's in fairly basic MVC right now. And I'm doing all the logic behind the scenes, so it's just the endpoints.
Yeah, so right now you're essentially at the point where you went from web forms to MVC, still in .NET Framework though, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I need to write repositories for everything so I can move off of Entity Framework over to Entity Framework Core. and I could probably do a more or less in place upgrade, but then I'd have to deal with 53.6 billion logical errors instead. Plus, I wouldn't be using repositories. So I'll go that way. I'll write repositories, change how the facades use it, use data access, and take it from there.
Cool. Now, when you are going, after you do all of your .NET Core stuff, so you move from
Yes.
.NET Framework to .NET Core, are you planning
Yes.
on adding Blazor components little by little to your MVC app, or are you porting the whole thing directly over to Blazor after that?
The admin interface, the front end will be MVC. It'll stop at MVC. I mean, the
Okay.
front end as in the public facing part, but the admin UI is entirely being moved over to Blazor.
Awesome.
Like 100%. But that's why I'm moving the old admin interface out of the site, because I'm still going to be keeping that, but on a different subdomain and different site. And then I'll start adding controls to the original site doing Blazor and then just link in between them. So yeah.
That's
You want to
really
go
cool.
into
I
something
love
that I
hearing
haven't
about these
converted yet, you'll end
projects.
up on the admin subdomain, and you want to access something that has been converted, and you'll end up on /admin. And if you really think about it, now you can figure out what the URL for the admin interface is on Kotlin. It may or may not be /admin.
It's /CodeMonkeys /upside down pancakes with pineapples -4462
Definitely that. Definitely that.
/don't see this ever .asp.
ASPX.
No, just ASP.
Yeah. I remapped those.
Oh dang!
Yeah, so
Tyron
that's
did
my
all of them from
long-term
last
plan,
year.
but huh?
Tyron did all of them from last year. All of the Advent of Code from last year.
Oh. Yeah, I've actually never really sat down and done those.
It's pretty fun. I like it.
Yeah, I hear
I just
it,
don't
that
think
it's
that I
fun,
have time
but
this season.
exactly. And when I have the time, I have other things I want to do.
Such as in?
Such as working on conversions, or my Blazor personal site, or doing a Twitch bot, or no docs, or actual work that's paid,
No
or
docs.
or
That's
watching
my vote.
One Lion.
Spend more time on that.
Yeah, it
Spend
was
less
what I
time
was
on One Lion,
doing.
spend more time on no docs.
Yeah. The XML parser is entirely rebuilt. And it's doing something
Cool.
that's like the worst XML anti-pattern you can imagine.
Oh no.
I am parsing XML using
As a string.
regex.
Yes.
Yes.
Screw node traversal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care about the actual structure of the document, right? I'm just
Right.
looking for our properties and bare words.
And values.
So everything between brackets, or
Angle
the
brackets.
reverse of brackets. So between a close and an open,
Yep.
kill that. And
Yep.
everything in something equals
You just made a mad face at
something
us.
else.
That's rude.
Yes. Yes.
Rude.
And like that. And that's pretty much everything I need to do. Oh, I'm also removing, the comments. And that's it. So that's very easy to do with regex. So I got the XML parser from Spaghetti and like 300 or something lines. It felt like, at least, down to like 40. And very obvious. Right now I'm rewriting the JSON parser, and I've figured out that JSON is hard to parse. Yes. Doing the values themselves, not terrible. Comments, though. And the best part
I
with
did
that
work
is
backwards.
comments aren't even an official part of JSON. If you follow the spec, you're not allowed to use comments because they don't exist.
Oh.
Someone
so I'm breaking
decided
your...
that
That's why I broke your app. Awesome.
maybe
Because you were going by
yeah.
the spec, and you're like, I'm not expecting comments. They're not supposed to be used in JSON.
Exactly.
Well, I feel like a jerk now. Thanks.
But for some reason, I kind of need to support it. I mean, I could just crash out, you know, and hide everything, but
Right.
I'd really rather handle it properly.
Yeah, you do it really well. Someurl.com/. I don't remember what it was that we had in here that caused the URLs to break.
It has to do with : / inside of a string.
Yeah. Oh, inside of a string. So like inside of this thingy here.
So if you make like normal property, : and then string, and you type a URL in it. Did that make sense?
Yep. URL. HTTPS. So there it goes. Yep.
Yeah. Now it's overlapping outside, and I think if you add a comma to the end there, it'll show the age. No, it won't. It won't. It'll just mess up the end of the line there. And that is because of comment parsing, actually. Because it sees this / and it's like, oh, this is a comment.
This is a comment.
And then that,
so
and
everything
then that is
after
overlapping.
it.
Yeah.
I see
and
it.
then that's
Yep.
overlapping with the other one, and it's just
Yeah.
meh. I hate life.
Actually,
I'm gonna
it's
go
underlapping with the other one because it looks like that one gets applied first.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I'm currently working on the comments.
Smart.
The actual values is done, but the comments in a better way is difficult to get going, get working properly. Because I want it to be somewhat secure as well.
Didn't you reverse the order that you're applying them? And that should
Reverse
solve
the
it.
order then.
So like
Now I need
apply
to.
the strings
The main problem
first
is
and then
right
apply
now
the
is when
comments.
comments start inside of strings, because then they shouldn't be comments.
But then, yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm saying if
Yeah.
you apply the values inside of strings before applying the comments rule, unless they aren't mutually exclusive.
What I'm doing right now is I'm finding all the values, and then I get like a start character and like start index and end index of this thing to hide.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm finding all of the comment start markers, and I'm checking if this starts inside of a value, ignore it.
Yeah. So like if you've already gotten a range where this thing is overlapping, then ignore it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that you were doing something like for each line, parse the line to say, is it a key value pair? Is the value a string? If so, then apply the whatever
the
you call
problem
this
is
thing.
I need to hide integers, for example, and I need to be able to hide inside of arrays.
Yeah.
So if you have an array of strings or an array of numbers,
which was another thing, like channels. I think I had. Oops. Array. Yeah, it's somewhere in my bot, but like.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
go
of
ahead.
course.
If you do a Blazor WebAssembly project, you make a new one, and then it says ASP.NET Core hosted. Okay.
Yes.
But let's say you want to add the ASP.NET Core after that. Which one do you pick?
You don't put ASP.NET Core hosted.
No, yeah, okay, yes. So you have a Blazor WebAssembly that's standalone, but then you want to add ASP.NET Core to it.
Yeah, for your
so
backend.
You want to like add server-side rendering as well and make a hybrid?
No, he's talking about adding an API.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
all
is it the ASP.NET Core Web API or Web App?
API.
Web API. Okay, good.
Yeah, because that's the type
Thanks.
of the project that it creates for you. That's what this is. If you pick WebAssembly with ASP.NET hosted.
I need to see watch stream.
But this one, on the other hand, I really like your approach, Thindal, for Blazor WASM, then Blazor Server. So like start with Blazor Server pre-rendered, all of that stuff, and then switch to WASM somehow.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really cool stuff.
It's I haven't worked on it for a little bit, but my current problem is it's not keeping the transmitted values. So calculate everything on the server, and then once you're handing over to the client to WebAssembly, it'll rerun everything. So if you have any values or anything entered, it'll reset. So it worked fine for like presentation stuff, but if you have data entry, it won't be awesome. But there's a way to solve that because there's a shared cache value store kind of thing that I'm going to look into using. So someone already thought of that one, and it wasn't me.
But I wish it was.
Yeah, I wish it was. I haven't worked on that
But yeah.
project for a bit because other things, but I will.
I know
Promise
that
that.
sentiment. I say that so often.
Yeah, I want to get that side out because I have a couple of things I want to write about, including like, you know, upgrading from framework to core. But that'll
I
take a while.
made
Plus,
everyone's chat bigger.
yeah, plus I want to make that what's it called? WYSIWYG editor thingy
Oh
in
yeah.
a proper way, not just a demo.
Right.
Can I actually do this way, like an actual good way?
With all the layouts and being able to say, give me 4 input boxes that all are going to be image or
Yep.
text or whatever. That was
Exactly.
cool. I liked that.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's going to be it for my time. I need to get back to work. So,
Aww.
yes, I know. Isn't it terrible?
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push my current changes that we made, and then I'm going to merge that into main because that was everything for the branch. And you guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in voice channel. And Progtesting
you.
just dropped.
Boo. You're hanging out in Clayman and Irish Sean's channel sometimes, right?
Yeah, usually, but I've been having my audio muted because I've been super focused on getting this release out or ready.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I will be listening again with my audio on after the release, which should be next week.
Nice. Nice. I like
I'm
this.
scared. Oh, I can't merge this yet. Server and populate and drop downs. I still need to implement the remaining methods for updating the lookup lists in my services. Yay. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So any last words, Thindal?
Live long and prosper. And
Wait, that's
be
Shocker.
kind, rewind.
My bad. Be kind, rewind is my favorite. Absolutely.
And don't do anything I would do.
Without young
and
person supervision.
This is the worst day of your life so far. If anyone can place that quote.
I don't know that one. I know a lot of them.
That's
but I
from the
don't know that
Simpsons movie. Bart is really
that
sad and
would
it's
be
like,
why.
this is the worst day of my life. And Homer's like, no, son, this is the worst day of your life so far.
Yes.
And that's how you're a good parent, right?
Absolutely. Set up expectations correctly. So if you guys haven't followed Thindal, Dukasoft put a shout out up for him. There's a little heart icon there. If it's empty, click on it. Otherwise, it won't show up. And check out his next stream when he streams.
I
Thank
hope
you,
to do
Thindal, for
one this
joining us.
weekend, but I usually say that and then I don't.
And then you don't.
But I'll try.
But it happens.
I'll try. So have a wonderful day, man.
You as well.
Who are we raiding?
I'm not. I'm getting back to work. We're
You
rating
need to
Thindal if
raid
he's
someone.
streaming.
Oh, I'm not though.
Yeah, no, I actually do need to get back to work now, though.
Yeah, just raid Coding Garden then. No one?
No one. I'm gonna get back to work. Work. Juan Van said it. Work.
Oh, all right.
It's
Well,
already
take care,
5 minutes
man.
into my billable hours again, which
Ah,
means I gotta add
paid
5
to
minutes
stream,
to the end
are
of my
ya?
day.
nice.
Huh?
Paid to stream, are you?
Oh no, no, definitely not.
No. Well, have an awesome day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Ciao. And ciao to everyone else. Thank you so much for being here. As Dukasoft put into the chat, I will be posting this video, the playback of this video on YouTube somewhere around 24 hours after the stream ends. And as long as I remember to set it up too. And, oh, he even pinned it up there. I forgot that you can do stuff like that. That's crazy. That's insane. Anyway, and I just finished checking in the current progress that we did on the current branch, so that'll be on the project site. And then feel free to join us in Discord if you feel like it. We have a great set of people that are very welcoming, very cool, very easy to hang out with. And if you're looking for any advice, if you want to give advice, if you have any projects you want to show, if you have any food or pets that you want to show, definitely feel free to drop that into one of the appropriate channels in our Discord. But other than that, again, I am heading back to work, so I won't really be around, but I'll respond to things if I see it on Discord. And then I'll hang out in other people's streams very quietly. So kids must stay on a leash. Absolutely. Okay, so ciao for now. I'll stream again on Monday. Most likely. That's release day, so who knows? That might get canceled. We'll play it by ear. Okay, ciao for now. Tschüss.